Can these headphones save your hearing? Let's talk about it. Dave Taylor here, and I want to talk about something serious this time. I want to talk about hearing loss, particularly with adolescents. If you're between the ages of 12 and 19, odds are good you're starting to lose your hearing. In fact, 1 in 5 19-year-olds now apparently has some level of hearing loss. Why? Muchly because of all their audio players, the phones, the devices, the headphones, the earbuds, everything's super loud. And there's so much data to show that if you're listening to really loud music, it's going to mess up your hearing. And it doesn't really come back. This is a problem you then have to deal with for the rest of your life. That's a pretty dire consequence, which is why when Puro Sound Labs wanted to send me their BT5200 headphones, I was super interested because these aren't just wireless Bluetooth headphones that happen to be made of aluminum, and they're very nice, and they have 24-hour battery life and 40-millimeter dynamic drivers and everything. There's a lot to like in these headphones, but what's really nice is there's a little LED indicator that shows you how loud your music is. So what they recommend is pick your music, and I'll show you what this looks like, and I'll give you a close-up of the LED too. So pick your music, start playing it, and then increase the volume, and if you get it super loud, you'll see that the LED actually goes yellow if it's over 85 decibels and will turn red if it's over 95 decibels. Now, to keep this in perspective, over 85 decibels you shouldn't listen to for more than maybe 2 hours maximum, and over 95 decibels will cause hearing loss. So these are good headphones for your children, for example, for them to be able to get a sort of reality check of how loud their music is. And like I said, you really want to always have it in the green. Now, the downside, and there's so much I like about these, the downside of the BT5200 is that I can get it super loud. I can get it too darn loud, and I'm actually hurting my hearing. So they actually make a version called the BT2200, and those are a little better because those actually won't go above 85 decibels. So those might actually be a better version for your children, but these are pretty sweet, and the sound is really quite good. What they've done is they've re-engineered and tuned the audio so that actually you don't need to have it super loud. And they're not active noise canceling, but they're really pretty tight on your head. I'll come back to that in a second. So they cut out a significant amount of background noise. So between those two, you're probably going to be doing pretty good with a pretty low level of volume. And let me just give you a quick look on the side. There's tons of controls here. You can see all easy to work with, all nicely labeled. There's no mysteries here. There is in the carrying case an optional cable if you'd prefer not to use Bluetooth or you've just run out of battery. I mean, 24 hours of battery, it's pretty good, but eventually it's going to run out, so you can use cable. Has a built-in microphone, so you can use it for phone calls. If you're making phone calls and you're in the red, then the person on the other end needs to stop shouting. But therein lies the fundamental problem with this. So if I put these on, how do I see how loud my music is? That's a problem. And so I don't know how they would get around that. Maybe having a cord, and the cord has a sensor that shows you. But, you know, as they're wireless headphones, there's got to be some way to be able to see. But unfortunately, you have to take them off to see what color the LED is. Now, my expectation is over a fairly short amount of time you'll get the hang of it, and you'll be able to do that without much hassle. So that's good. But fundamentally, I wish they would have a better way, or even just like had a little warning beep that said your music's getting too loud or something like that. But again, that might be where the 2200 is a better option. So what else can I tell you about them? They have a very nice carrying case, and it's slim, so they don't bend or fold particularly, but I like that the case is a pretty slim, well-designed little unit. Does of course come with the USB charging cable. That's nothing to write home about, but the actual audio cable, if you need to use it, is a nice flat cable, so that works out really well. And really the key thing here is the whole audio level. Now, the sound is actually surprisingly good. The first thing I did is I went into the EQ on my iPhone, and I actually turned off any bass boost or anything like that. I just went flat, and then boy, all of a sudden the mid-range just jumped out and it sounded so much better. And they're really pretty impressive sound. They're really nice sound for the price. And speaking of the price, these are $149, and you can pick up a pair at Amazon.com. These are the Puro Sound Labs BT5200 wireless headphones. And before you leave, go ahead, do me a favor and click on the subscribe button, and then we can be friends forever. So, I'm going to go back to the music, although I have to say, as I mentioned earlier, they're pretty snug. So if you have a pretty big head, you're going to find that they're really a pretty cozy fit. I feel like they're almost for more teenage heads, although frankly, a lot of teenagers I know are taller and bigger than I am. So something to know about if you have an atypically large head. Otherwise, the Puro Sound Labs BT5200 with audio volume level checking and hearing stuff so you can figure out if you're listening to music too loud. Huge win. It's Dave Taylor, and I'll catch you in my next video.